I'm Austin Walker, and this is Waypoint Presents. Vice's home for the most exciting stories in gaming. We take you behind the scenes.
You gotta be a little crazy, you know, if you want to be the best.
Into the arena. To the heart of why we play. Today, we look at the past and future of gaming. Millions of people play games every day, but how do you actually get into making them? To find out, Waypoint takes a trip to a school that's shaping the future of game development. With 2 veteran designers at the helm, this program is making the dream of a career in games a reality. Then, we take you to the Video Game History Foundation. For director Frank Cifaldi, there's a tale behind every game. But if you want the whole story, you have to go back in time to look at the packaging, the culture, and the experience of the players. We join Frank in his quest to preserve gaming history.
I'm Shweta.
My name is Rogelio Espinosa.
I'm Jun. I'm from China.
I'm Jake.
My name is Rejo. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska.
Hi, I'm Roy.
I'm from San Francisco, California.
I've been working on a game called Dictatorship, about being a dictator in a third world country.
I worked on Spellcasters VR, which is a VR online multiplayer game.
I came from China.
I'm working on Control Shift,
An asymmetrical co-op game for VR.
I'm from Ukraine.
The game I worked on is called Brosaurus Rex.
Our player plays as a giant monster and wrecking the city.
I am from Stockholm, Sweden.
I worked on Tornado Tower game.
A VR platformer made for the Oculus Touch.
I work on Dust to Dust, which is a small platformer game about saving a forest after a forest fire.
I think it's creating this magical light thing that's in front of me, but I'm not entirely sure because it doesn't reliably do anything whenever I cast it.
Can you look at that page in the book?
I guess, but I don't know if this is supposed to be on my team or the other team.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, fireball.
You can still fireball your own teammates.
Oh, yeah.
Game design is sort of an invisible art. It's the rules of the game. It's how things behave. What happens when you hit a button? How big of a reaction do you get from, say, the player character? If it's done right, you don't even know that somebody's done work there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. You got it.
We only have 12 months to take people from sometimes they've never really made a fully fledged video game before to at the end of 12 months actually feeling like they can make games. They're a game developer.
I remember going to some people and telling them, I think I want to be a game designer. And someone told me, you know nothing about computers. Why would you make games? And so I said, that's why you go to school. You go to school to learn.
What we do is put them immediately into the process of building by yourself, eventually with a team of maybe 5 or 6, all the while learning certainly the craft, but also really importantly is the cooperation piece. How do I work with these other people?
When you're talking about, I need story, I really want this puzzle, you know, I really want this mechanic, that's in pre-production to test it out.
We see the same 22 people every day, basically. And you really just kind of become friends with everyone, and then you get people influencing you on different things. It's just like, hey, we just want to help you out. And so it's like a big family. That's what we feel like.
Oh, this is 9 to 36. It's comparing it to what you're currently using.
I was misreading.
Yeah, no, it shows what you're currently using. So I was an independent game developer for about 11 years. So they do a little bit more. I like independent games personally because they feel like an extension of the author of the game, of the creator. They feel a little bit more personal. My latest title is called Gravity Ghost. It's a physics/puzzle game. In that game, you're playing as a little ghost girl in outer space, hopping around, collecting stars, and trying to rescue your friend, the ghost fox.
Welcome to the afterlife. Here is your hug.
For the most part, the lectures are taught either by myself or MJ, the program director. He's like a 20-year veteran of the video game industry. He worked on some of the titles that were quintessential for my generation, like Spyro the Dragon, like Crash Bandicoot. The students see him as like the wise godfather of the program.
We get a lot of applications from all around the world. So when we're reviewing those applications every year, it's very challenging to try and see which of these students are going to bring the most passion and the most skills to the program.
I'm really proud of the fact that our student body is 40% women right now. That's certainly more than the industry at large. I see them as kind of the vanguard of this younger, up-and-coming wave of game developers.
I fell in love with Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. Favorite game, I think I played 12 or 13 times in my lifetime. For my 8th birthday, my dad brought in this game, and unlike Barbie games or little racing games, it was Zelda that really made me think hypothetically, go more logical, made me think outside of the box. I did grow up definitely lower middle class, even a couple times I made poverty. And I felt like the only way to get out of poverty and really follow my dreams was through education. And that's why I decided to go to this master's program. And then I got the letter, and not only was I accepted, but they were going to give me a full ride.
Kelsey Kaufman is very inspiring to me personally. She just worked so hard to be where she is, and she's got such a positive attitude.
I gave it different colors just to help me out. So if I look at the light brown texture right here, it indicates you're going to enter a new area.
Yeah.
Instead of reading out a book, like, here's how you make a game, the professors tell us, go make a game. And that's what we did. Tornado Tower is a VR third-person platform game where you play as two characters at once, Zaru the Adventurer and the Wind Spirit.
My name is Zaru, and this is my tale of Tornado Tower.
She managed to reach out to the parkour team at UC Santa Cruz and had one of the guys dress up like the character. And I was like, but that could be so socially awkward. Why would you talk to a stranger?
I hated VR before actually coming to the program. After I played the archery game from Steam, I fell in love with it. I thought oh, the possibilities are endless. I had 4 years of educational game experience, and that's when I realized that I really want to do more mainstream games, actual action games. All right, you're gonna put this on. And the game I'm working on is Brosaurus Rex.
Brosaurus Rex! Become a monster! Do some curl!
In it, you're pretty much Godzilla in VR. You can slam dunk airplanes, you can throw cars into buildings, you can shoot fire from your mouth by just screaming, roar! When we playtested, a lot of people were like, oh, I feel so relaxed now. It was like anger therapy. I'm like, yes! Thank you, that's what I was going for. Just seeing all the elements together and people just having fun. That's my favorite thing of the game, just having people play it.
It was pretty fun just to be able to throw stuff around, as you can't do that in real life because you get in trouble.
Oh, sure. It's a nice high five.
I decided to get into this program because I was specifically looking for a game design career, and so I was like, I probably need a little bit more schooling considering my undergrad wasn't really, I was centered around video games. I have always played games, since I was really little. My first game was, I want to say House of the Dead. Not the greatest one to start off if you're a kid, but my dad's always been super into gaming too.
This is one of the original Atari 2600s. Laura, one of her assignments was to play the game Adventure, but it's online. So she was given a link where you could play it online. I said, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to play it on the 2600, or you're not playing it.
What I get out of gaming mostly is I just have a need to like to create things, which is also why I do a lot of cosplay stuff. When I look at games, I do prefer ones that are just not really based in reality, mostly because you get a lot cooler outfits out of that.
We both pick things we like to do, and we start making costumes. Usually you pick a convention, and no matter how much time you have, the process will fill that entire time gap until the morning of that convention.
He does most of my props, but I also make his costumes too.
It's kind of skill swapping. You do something for me, and I'm gonna do something for you.
All right, so you're going to be playing Dust to Dust. Basically, the premise of it is you're a small forest sprite whose forest actually burned down, and now it's your job to try and figure out how to bring it back to life. Dust to Dust was always just kind of this weird little game where I'm like, I just want to draw this emotional experience out of a player. Like, it wasn't so much about the gameplay, it's like, what do you feel when you play this kind of thing?
If you go look up the books, they'd say, no, that's all wrong, it should move faster. But the more they slowed it down, the more it had the right feeling.
Some people are just like, nah, it's a little too slow. And I'm like, yeah, but that's the point.
I think it's very beautiful. I really enjoyed the audio. It was a beautiful, bittersweet ending.
No one's looking over your shoulder going, this will never make money. You're in school, try something experimental and crazy.
Did I open it? Okay, go through the door.
Oh no, the door closed. All right, there's another door.
I'm gonna open door 5 for you all.
Okay. All right.
Go in.
Right, okay.
But be very quiet.
I came from a background in art and a little bit of programming, but I really wanted to learn exactly how I could combine those things into game design. The game that I worked on in the program was called Control Shift. It's a co-op asymmetrical VR game where one player wears the VR headset and they're the spy and they're physically sneaking through the environment. And then the other player is the hacker. They're using keyboard input and the computer monitor to like type in hacks on the environments. They can like open doors for the spy and hack into cameras. I really like cooperative games where you have to lean on each other and trust each other in order to succeed. And I wanted to bring that to VR.
Well, you're gonna have to crouch. It might help to like lay on your belly and shimmy by.
No, I'm trying to when you turn the guard off. There you go. All right, type guard 1 dot off.
Guard 1.
I'd rather they try something weird than to try to clone something that's already out there. Oftentimes it's the weird stuff that breaks out of the mold that everybody says, whoa, what's that? I need to play that.
Everybody that I've had experience that game says, that's cool, that's new, I've never done that before.
This is a little hard.
One thing that's tricky, yeah, in 3D, it's you have to, if they're supposed to walk down a ramp, you actually can't see it from if the camera's up here. So you need to cue this like somehow. I really like helping them, and I like watching them sort of figure out these things that I had to find out the hard way. There are times when I just wish I could spend my days sort of just like tinkering around with gravity like I did when I worked on this. Yeah, I do miss that, but I don't miss the lifestyle.
Whoa, Nelly, you really startled me. What are you supposed to be?
I think I'm a ghost now.
Gravity Ghost was 3 years of full-time work for me. Prior to that, I had a day job where I was sort of saving up the money because I knew it was going to take a while to finish this indie game. What I really want to be is a developer. You know, I'd love to get back to it someday. I think I got other good games somewhere in here. I just struggling to figure out how. I'm about to go give my last lecture of the whole school year for this class of students. They're graduating in like 9 days, so this is kind of my parting message to them. So what makes a mega hit possible? Combination of scalability plus luck and social contagion. There's so much churn in this industry. It's really, really hard to make a game, and it's really hard to make a game that sells well enough for you to make another game. So it's good for them to know the truth, I think, even if it makes me feel like a professional buzzkill. So if your game is not one of the top 500 sellers, you're earning money in here, which is not nearly close to the amount of dollars spent on games in this half.
It's kind of sad looking at, the statistics of how many people get into games. You look into game design, and we've been told repeatedly, that's a really hard job to get. It's definitely going to be a hard road, no doubt. But, I'm just going to keep walking it and see what happens.
So this is my employment board. Every spring, I start tracking how's everybody doing in terms of getting jobs. And now this is my game I'm playing this summer.
Worst case scenario, if I end up living under a bridge, holding a cardboard for, I'll do games for, food. Even that is going to be interesting.
My job prospects coming out of the program are so much better than they started. I consider myself a game designer. If people ask me what I do, that's what I tell them. The fact that that's happened in 1 year, I think, is pretty miraculous.
Kelsey, she's in the has a job column, and I just got to move that over a few days ago.
I met this woman with her family on the train station. I didn't think I'd ever see them again, and I see them once again the same day at an event. Found out she was a CEO for River Studios. She brought me in to interview, and she pretty much just gave me the job as a designer. I want to make her proud, and I'm just excited to start designing.
Yeah, I care a lot. I care a lot about their futures. I guess it's selfish. I want to feel like I had a small part in whatever it is that they end up doing.
Thank you guys so much for being my students. This is my last lecture. I hope you go on and make many great games and do many amazing things. I know you will. We wanted to be able to make our art. I think of it as like, if you have a calling to make music, it's like that. I think some people have a calling to make video games.
There was a stat, I think it's 80% of American cinema made before 1930 is gone. I saw video games making the same mistakes that film was making. To me, that was scary. That's when I really got into the idea of actually tracking down and documenting video games. It's just been my cause since then. I'm Frank Zafaldi. I'm the founder of the Video Game History Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to preserving the history of video games. When I was a kid, we all had Nintendos, because that's just what you did. I got my first computer, which was 1998. Along with that computer was my first access to the internet. I kind of looked up the things that I was maybe a little bit nostalgic for, and in my case, that was Nintendo games I used to play. There were people out there who were taking these games and making sure that they weren't forgotten, that the actual digital bits inside the cartridge were actually extracted and put in a safe place. For video games, we can talk about them in much more substantial and interesting ways if we have access to ephemeral material that you need to be able to access things like, magazines. That's how you actually understand the time and place of the game. And when I discovered that there were communities of people who were archiving these games, I just really got into it.
Go away.
What's up, man? How's it going? Good. Mike Micah is an old friend of mine. Someone else who very early on recognized that, wait, this stuff's actually important. Just kind of a like-minded person.
I dare you. Do you want to open it and take a look?
Oh, is this a challenge?
This came out of the landfill where the Atari games were buried.
So is this what it smelled like when you were there?
Yes. And that smell was in my nose for 2 weeks, and I'm stepping back because I can't. I'll throw up.
Oh. Yeah. I'm fine with it, but that is a gross smell.
Frank and what he does, I do often refer to it as the Lord's work because he's relentless in his pursuit of finding these games and everything related to them.
Oh my God.
If we can get the foundation to spearhead the way you should properly archive games and game projects, that will solve so many problems going forward. And for game preservation, that's one of the biggest issues for me.
I started this collection in 2003 when no one cared about this stuff. There were video game collectors, and some of them were collecting magazines here and there, but it wasn't really like a pursuit. I got in early when it was really easy. God, they smell so awful too. All right, so this stuff. So this is where in North Dakota is Carmen Sandiego. So Carmen Sandiego, of course, was a popular series of computer games, not to mention a couple TV shows.
Hello and welcome to Acme. I'm the Chief.
In the earliest days of this franchise, they were trying to figure out what to do with it. They had a couple games, and they ended up making this one really particular Carmen Sandiego game. Up until very recently, there was really nothing known about it other than it existed. We actually had to go to North Dakota to rescue not only the game, but all this stuff. This is a really good example of, history that, we might have lost if I hadn't flown to North Dakota. What I've come to understand is that the game itself is only part of the story. You can play Super Mario Brothers. That game now, if you play it, it's a good game. That game, if you examine it within its context, was a revolutionary game. The sky being blue was kind of new. The fact that the screen scrolled to the right, that was revolutionary. That's context you don't get just from the game. And you can understand that by going back to these magazines and seeing how people talked about it. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, this is gold. So this is a consumer ad for the Atari VCS from 1978. So this is still a brand new system. The headline here, right? Don't just watch TV tonight, play it. This is when people were still wrapping their heads around what video games even were. If we are to take video games seriously as an artistic medium, as something that we can study as a part of our cultural heritage, that we need access to more than just playing the game. We need to know how the company sold the game. We need to know, what were the influences for the game. So what we do is identify this material, try to find it so that we can tell the story of these classic works of history, these video games. I want people to be able to access this stuff because I want people to be able to tell the story of video games using period sources. It hasn't paid a salary yet. I've been a volunteer for the Video Game History Foundation full-time. I still do some game development on the side. We started with a crowdfunding campaign because it's not just money that we're after. We want to build a community. We are identifying things that are volatile, that could disappear, that we feel are important, and saving them now. It's more than a full-time job. Saving history.
Thanks for watching Waypoint Presents and for joining us this season on our journey through gaming culture. See you next time.